episode of The Gloving Paradigm, where I'm your host, Peter, aka LPD Duke, and this week shall be a very fun week for me because we finally get to review the submissions from January's trials of BRR. Pretty sure some of you are already confused about what the hell I'm talking about.
Yes, definitely!
Okay, so for some context so people understand, yes, I released a couple of videos that were like under 5 minutes long each, talking about BRR, which is the acronym for this tag that I have called Breaking Rules Recklessly. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I wanted to create a collective tag, meaning that this is a tag of people who want to share their art creatively and want to collaborate with other people who have the same interest of creating art, particularly when it comes to gloving. So yes, this is going to be one of those things where like project videos are supposed to be coming out, where there's like collaborations of people working together to create art. Is the best way I can put it. I don't know how else to put it for you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But without going into too much detail, yes, I have linked up here in this, this little thing. Yeah, you can see what BRR is all about. It is a very particular tag where, in my opinion, it pretty much says that you are an individual and you're going to do what you want to do with gloving the way you want to do it. And the sole purpose is to just share that and have other people to help you out create it. It's not chasing clout or anything like that. It's literally you have a passion for this art and you have nothing more but to create passionately for this art. It's not about who's better or anything like that. It's not a competitive tag like Inky Boys. Again, go check out the video. I made a complete description of it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We are going to be watching the 2 submissions. Yes, only 2 submissions. I'm honestly surprised that there was even 1 submission at all. But, to me, if you get 1 person to at least participate, it is a success. Most people are probably going to say it's an utter failure, but I don't care because this is something that I'm doing. And yeah, sure, people are probably going to say that this is more reflective of how popular I am in the community. But again, I don't give a damn. Again, I don't care about popularity. What is this, high school? Alrighty, so without further ado, let's just go ahead and go and watch the videos. And alright, so here we are. We're going to pretty much get started on watching these videos. First things first though, I wanted to showcase a video that I made as a demonstration of what it was that I was pretty much asking for when it came to this particular trial, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, again, video all the way over there on the other side, you know where I'm pointing is up in the top right corner. You just go click on it. So basically, this is the trial of discipline. And basically what I was asking for is that since every glover has their own personal style or personal take on a style, that I wanted to see how you are able to demonstrate what it is on your personal style that is considered your foundations. Like, what are the things that make up your style? Okay, and when it comes to my personal style that I'm going to be showing you with this particular video is that yes, people do know who have followed me for a while and understand my, comprehension of how to disseminate gloving styles or into archetypes. Go check out the playlist. I have 7 videos of it. It's really good. That, yes, I'm steeped within the morphing style. Okay, a lot of my influences just so happen to be either from impacting or morphing. The biggest glover who I followed since the very beginning of my career was Musk from TNT. He has been such a very strong influence on my style that to this day you will see many things that he does in his shows or in my shows. Did I carbon copy it? Hell no. Well, at the beginning I probably did, but it has evolved into my own personal style. I've created it into my own way. I twisted it to be mine. So it's no longer a carbon copy thing. All right. And that's what I'm trying to kind of encourage from people who are participating in these challenges. I want you to challenge yourself, not challenge, go up against other glovers. This was a personal challenge to see how well you understand your style. And that is a very key, huge point for me when it comes to these trials, is that I wanted to have glovers be able to showcase their themselves creatively. I wanted to see how you interpret these things, how you go about doing this, because we all understand fundamentals, we all understand foundations, we all know the basics, but we all interpret it differently. And so that's what I'm trying to showcase here, is how do we interpret our foundations? It's not all about these complex stuff. It's not all about clusters or all about flow or whatever. There's clear delineations from things that we can understand when it comes to this art form. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to do, is just challenge the community to challenge yourself. It's supposed to be fun. That's the idea. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and watch mine. Now, I posted this on Facebook. I didn't put this on YouTube, because usually when it comes to my finger shows, I usually kind of leave those as Instagram exclusives. I don't know. I don't think finger shows do as well on YouTube. Maybe. I don't know. I never really see that much finger shows on YouTube. Like, yes, there's finger tutting, but I'm not. You guys know what I'm talking about, all right?
We know what you're saying.
We know what you're saying, but no one knows what you mean, and we really don't have enough time.
But okay. Let's just go ahead and watch my video so you guys can understand what is the foundations of my style. And of course, at the end of it, I'll kind of point out the things I'm going to need to point out. So, all right. So for myself, let's see what I got. Yes, I have this lovely little intro thing. I'm actually kind of proud of this one. Just quick context. Husband's hotel, top floor. I asked him if I could do this. He said yeah. As you can see here, I'm doing very basic clusters, which is, to me, I found as a foundational moveset. That actually is very more recent into my show. But I also wanted to show that I adapted newer things into it. Lovely pokes, threading. I stumbled a little bit there, but sometimes gloves can be slippery, I'm just saying. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about my video for a bit, right? I mean, you guys are probably going to see it playing in the background. But here's how I explain my foundation. So if while you're watching that video, you can definitely see that I utilize box theory. I definitely bring myself to a center point frame where I definitely operate off of. And that is very indicative of what morphing is. It uses box theory to do a lot of its things. Traditionally, it depends on who you ask nowadays. Some people are probably going to say, no, you don't use box theory to do morphing. But no, historically, morphing has used box theory. It is a sister archetype to impacting. I have an entire 40-minute video talking about morphing all on its own, breaking it down so you can fully understand morphing that no one else has ever done to the scale that I have. Just want to point that out. So, things that you'll notice. You definitely notice that I do a lot of tracing when it comes to like a lot of my tech-based concepts. Yes, tracing is a huge staple within the morphing style. It is one of the key points that makes up the style. You know, and again, you definitely see all the pokes, you definitely see all the threadings, you definitely see all the finger waves, you definitely see a lot of the traits that come with it. Another key thing that a lot of people may not realize if you haven't really studied morphing is that morphing has a particular part where your hands are constantly connected at some point or another. There's always a connection point that's happening. And that's something that definitely works for me. So you definitely see where a lot of my moves build off of. I try to break it down the best way I possibly can. Like the whole finger roll things, like this is literally showcasing how I've taken the basic concept of finger rolls and how people like to do them and actually show the full expansion while staying within the foundation moveset. Within the foundation moveset that I have provided. When I talked about like Liquid and Cosmo and Tuna and Flosin, when it came to them and how they showcase it, yes, they can take foundation movesets and create an entire show with just that, especially Liquid. Like Liquid is, to me, is what I would call the master of foundations because his show is nothing but foundations. And some people are like, oh, that doesn't sound very exciting. No, there is a very beautiful charm to Liquid's shows because of how simple they are. He doesn't do anything bombastic, which is to some people a little disappointing or lackluster, which I don't think so. There is a finesse that Liquid's able to put into his shows that I highly, highly recommend if you guys are not following him to go follow him because he makes really good shows. I absolutely love them. And that's why I mentioned him. Cosmo is in the same kind of boat. Now, Cosmo goes in a different route. He definitely shows foundational movesets when it comes to his flow-based concepts and also with his tech-based concepts. I mean, if you watch Cosmo's clusters that he does, they're really simple. Like, he's literally just doing this and then going like this and then like literally bringing it up together and bringing it back out. Like, it's very, very simple. And so to me, that comes off as a foundational moveset. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to chew my ass out. Well, that's not me. That's how I interpret it. Okay. You know, I don't think Joe's going to sit there and argue with me and say, no, it's not what it was. I think Joe's going to be like, yeah, sure, if that's how you want to see it, go ahead. You know, and I'm okay with that. But I definitely want to stress that to you guys. So what I was showing you within my show is that, yes, in my tech-based concepts, tracing, wave tutting, hinging, and pivoting are literally the structures, the things that glue my show together. It's how I'm able to chain a lot of concepts together, is because I use the very basic concepts of tracing, wave tutting, finger waves basically, threading, you know, using the box theory, keeping my hands constantly connected, and things like that. And the other thing is when I actually do separate my hands and they actually come apart and do things, either they're doing synchronized movements, which is stuff like this, or they're mirroring each other in terms of their movement. So that's where you get things like this, because it's still mirrored, especially when you get the crossover stuff, right? That's the whole idea. So that's what I was showing. That's how I'm able to show it. Now, when it comes to my king tutting, I definitely will say it's way more on the unconventional side of what most people see with tutting, because people like to do the whole tracing things like this, which I can do. I just, for some reason, have a tendency of not doing that, right? What I tend to do is when my hands come together, I tend to move them together and do stuff like that, where it kind of like flails the two parts together into one single piece. I'm not sure how to describe it, but that is something that is a foundational move set for me. Okay, so if that didn't make any sense to you and you guys felt like that was nothing close to foundational move sets, again, this is how I interpret what makes up my style in particular. And this is what I feel like are the foundational movesets to really get into my particular style. And that is the goal. That is the goal of what I'm going to try to do when watching these other videos, is to literally break down and figure out which ones are which. And so that way I can do the things I need to do. You know, that's the goal. Okay. So I think we talked enough about me already. I don't want to bore everybody when it's just like, let's just talk about myself for hours. I do that enough already, right? All right. So this was submitted by a Glover who goes by Vio. He's really popular on TikTok as far as I can tell. I think he told me he had like 70,000 followers. I don't know. I'm sure he's going to see this video and he's going to comment. Please correct me down in the comment section below. It's there for a reason, you know. But yeah, he was the first one to submit, and I'm really, really excited because this, to me, is a newer Glover, as in he's very new to the scene, and this makes me very excited because that was one of the other kind of wish fulfillment hopes that I was having, was that I was going to get newer Glovers to submit to it. It is a way to be like, yeah, I want to challenge myself and break the mold from what every other person in history has done when it comes to gloving. The thing that I'm trying to show you, that you understand the meta and then you go against it, because you see that the meta is not this meta sheep thing that you probably hear in other places, but you see what the meta is. Just, this is popular, this is what people like to see, and you're going, that's fine and dandy and all, but this is what I like, and I'm only here to show what I like. And if you like what I like, kudos to you. You know, that's the beauty of it. That's the goal of the art, is that the audience construct itself. You don't construct the audience. Cool. Awesome. All right. So I did watch this video before, but it's been a while since I watched it. So yes, you're going to see some natural reactions from me. But I will try to point out a lot of the things that I will understand or what I will be able to interpret. So without further ado, Vio, show me what you got.
Show me what you got!
I just have to admit, I love this intro. This thing is awesome. It makes me happy. flails, which is really good to see. Well, Lyle, I can certainly say that I kind of agree with you on that one because that was pretty good. Okay, so let's get right into this, right? Okay, so you definitely kind of surprised me by changing how my intro card looked, which, you know what, I'm okay with because that kind of lends into the spirit of what BRR is all about, is to really just create, do something that's you. I wanted to see something that's you, essentially, I guess. So, all right. He said liquids and finger rolls were his foundations. All right. So he's definitely into the liquid category. I definitely saw a lot of what are considered the foundational movesets, things like that. He definitely had a good grapevine finger roll going on there. He definitely had a very strong understanding of when he needed to pivot and shift with the song, which is not part of the challenge, but I do need to appreciate that because it's somebody who's paying attention, who's anticipating, and knows how to shift when things shift in the song. That's part of the performance. That's the whole thing that's going to draw me in. I was definitely glued to the screen. I did not waver any of my attention away from the screen, which, surprisingly enough, I've actually seen shows that just are really boring. And, no fault on the performer. It's just the interpretation of such is just. But that's not Vio's video, okay? So I definitely see what he was doing. Now the question is did he push it to the extreme? You could say yes, but you can also say no. Because I know a lot of people are probably going to be like, when did that ever really push itself? I personally think that he showed a lot of his foundational movesets are just steeped in liquid. I definitely saw how he's able to actually bring things around and things like that. He also showed flails, which I know some people might interpret that as part of the liquid, but that's not. Flails is a very dynamic moveset, okay? There is a difference between liquid flow-based movesets and dynamic liquid move-based sets, okay? And what makes dynamic is the power of intensity, okay? Is using a lot of the space to do a lot of crazy things to move around. Almost feels chaotic, even though it's not really chaotic. It's actually very organized when you see it nice and slowed down. But you're still having these dynamic movesets that are moving in and out. That's a dynamic moveset. A liquid flow-based moveset, things where he's doing stuff like this, and he's bringing it around, and he's doing that stuff, That's the huge difference, Now, yes, whips is like the nice little hybrid, but it depends on how you're applying or executing your whips and delivering on your whips. It's going to dictate whether it's like a liquid-based more moveset or a dynamic more moveset. So when it comes to like big flashy movements of whips, yes, that's more dynamic. But when you actually come in and do things like this and move nice and slower, that actually becomes more of a liquid base. So that's what I was able to interpret, is that he's actually able to disseminate between his liquid based movesets and his dynamic based movesets. Now, I know he's been only doing this within like a year or two, so it's actually nice to see a newer Glover be able to instantly interpret and understand the foundational movesets of their personal style. So, the questions that need to be answered are, 1, did he show me all his foundational movesets? Yes, the ones to his extent of knowledge, and he actually felt good about that take, as you can hear at the end of the video. Which, I have to admit, for a video that wasn't overlaid, the audio sounded pretty good. Like, I've edited many people's videos when it comes to their light shows and stuff like that, and trust me, they don't sound anything like that. They sound way worse. I mean, there's times where I can hear the speaker farting, which, if you don't know what that is basically a speaker and the magnetic plate are kind of separated, so when it goes off, it causes the plastic part to do this on the magnet, causing that sound. You know. Okay, so he showed me his foundational movesets. He showed me how he was able to show the extreme of those with how far he went. It shows me that he understands what is the meta when it comes to those foundation movesets. What is proper, how it's supposed to be done. Yes, was there a part where he kind of stumbled, where he was trying to go into some tech-based concepts? Yeah, and I kind of wish that he did, but if he's saying that a lot of his other stuff is built off of just these movesets, then that's understandable. So, the question is, that I'm sure everybody's probably going to be asking, did he complete the challenge? And to my answer, yes he did. So congratulations, Violet, you passed the first one. You definitely completed this trial. So kudos to you. I definitely was able to see what you're able to provide, and now I'm definitely going to be excited when it comes to the next one, which, spoiler alert, the next trial has already been posted. If you want to go check it, just right over there. And yes, I know the video is already messed up and I don't want to redo it. It's because my dumbass didn't save that project file for whatever the goddamn reason I thought I didn't. That, or I might have saved it in a different spot. I'm gonna have to go check, but neither here nor there. Alright, so I think that's pretty much enough on Vio's video. We're going to move on to the next one. Okay, so next participant. People should already know who this person is, and if you don't, I'm going to be surprised, but also not surprised, because who knows who the hell I am. Even though I'm on team, prospecting for Team ISO, and I'm also on Worldwide Glovers a lot, and I've been doing this for 3 years, and somehow nobody freaking knows who I am. It's just so strange.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And I'm probably just really bad at marketing, which, yes, I don't have a marketing major. I'm just some dude sitting in a closet recording this crap, alright? It's actually not crap, it's actually good stuff.
And that's the truth.
Okay, yes, next participant. If you don't know who Genghis Wrath is, you should know, especially if you're a follower of my channel, because he was a guest who did coverage with me on the IGL comp, which was a lot of fun. If you guys wanted to go see it, please go check it out. It was really good. I enjoyed my time doing that, and I really hope to do that again. I will tell you this, I already know Genghis Wrath. I definitely know what he is known for, and I know he's known for the abstracting archetype, which I definitely really hope to do a archetypes of loving video, or possibly collaborate with Genghis Wrath on doing an abstracting archetypes of loving video, because that one is something I definitely need to study a lot on and be able to break it down. So this one's also going to be a challenge for me to do by trying to break it down. So that should be interesting, I'm just saying. But without further ado, Genghis Wrath, show me what you got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got.
Again, beautiful opening. those trails are just beautiful looking. I just love it when he removes his pinky and does stuff like this because it is interesting to see where it goes. Okay. Alrighty, everybody. So let's break this down. Okay, I definitely, man, do I feel like I'm going to either shove my own foot in my mouth or I'm going to be actually do something that the judges weren't able to do on GFC and be able to talk about abstracting and how it works. Okay, so to a lot of people who don't know what abstracting is, it is a particular style within gloving where you are utilizing the maximum effect of the equipment you have to create things that break the mold on conventional gloving. Okay, that is the best way I'm going to describe it right now. And what does that constitute? Well, as you saw in his video, he starts out by just shoving a thumb into his other glove, therefore causing a palm light effect. This is one of the bases of abstracting, is using a light within your glove somewhere and doing things that you wouldn't see basically in most gloving shows. Here's one of the big components when it comes to abstracting, at least from my understanding of such, is that once you remove the physical limitations of your hands, your fingers, digits, whatever you want to call them, you're able to create different shapes and forms and movements that most people are not going to think of. Case in point is when he takes the pinky light off and then has his pinky light moving around with the other hand. This is what abstracting is all about. It is to literally take what is known as concrete gloving, or conventional gloving as we most know it, and breaks the mold. This is probably one of the biggest aspirations to BRR ever. So, let me try to help you guys understand some of the foundational movesets, at least what I can interpret as foundational movesets when it comes to abstracting. Okay, so first one is the thumb in the glove, right? So what he was able to do is show you that doing things like this, you're able to have the element of surprise, the sleight of hand that's, more commonly known within conjuring or any variation of that nature, especially like impacting. But he breaks the mold by going like this. So instead of doing the traditional pokes that we see, he's doing abstract pokes, which is stuff like this, but it's still within the glove because it's showing light's movement and being interpreted within the glove itself, not just, hey, I'm doing pokes. It's abstract poking, basically. So he's taking foundational movesets and applying it in a way that most people aren't. And that's definitely BRR right there. Okay. Now, the other moveset that I also want to point out is when he takes his glove and pulls it up and has a nice little pocket thing. I don't even know what to call that. I want to call it the abstract pocket, I guess. The maw, I don't know. But this definitely is something I feel like a lot of people don't take into a lot of consideration, is being able to do this. Now, yes, abstracting is a very, very hard style to work with because it definitely pushes your boundaries of understanding to levels that probably most people can never fully comprehend. But we'll get into that. So, okay, pulls the gloves over his other lights. When he opens and closes his hands, you definitely see different variations of light being projected. The little cluster of light coming out of the glove where he was actually showing that now he has created a whole new point that is not just one single point. It's actually a collection of points that are connected together by the fabric of the glove being put over it. Okay, changes the entire light diffusion that happens with his lights on his hands. And it's not just one light that's being diffused that way, it's all the lights now. So it's a big thing. Not only that, he's showing you that it, putting a light in and out and things like that definitely showcases different shapes, different interpretations that you can do. The other thing I also really like, and I've seen this in other shows that he's done when he did a lot of abstracting, is where he has pretty much the opening pointing at the camera and he opens it and it goes like this. So it shows like this whole diffusion, refraction thing happening within his hand. Again, giving a whole new layer of texture to the show that conventional gloving doesn't do. Okay, so I know to a lot of people it'll be like, well, yeah, but then he has to put the glove back on and stuff. Yeah, he's learned how to do that still within the show. It's one of those things, like for me, when it comes to like clicking my lights and stuff like that, I've learned how to incorporate that into my show. So you don't really see me doing it, that's why you guys see me do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and now all my lights are changed. You can see that time and time again with all my shows. Another huge key point that I wanted to point out when it comes to abstracting, at least with the foundational movesets, is what he's showing you here is that you can take your light off and remove the finger and be able to do a bunch of different things. Actually show different lineups with your lights just by taking it off and holding it. Okay, did he make his pinky like the central point to that segment of the show? No, I wouldn't say that's the central point, but it is the main focus because that's what he is manipulating, which is a key aspect of abstracting. You manipulate lights in unconventional ways. So with that being said, did he complete the challenge? Did he hit the parts that I was looking for? Did he subvert my expectations? Well, I feel like abstracting subverts everybody's expectations when it comes to gloving because it pushes the boundaries to what people are saying. So, in the context of BRR, did Genghis Wrath provide the things that BRR is looking for? Yes. He subverted the expectations by doing abstracting, which, I'm sure some people will be like, well, if you're looking in the context of abstracting, isn't that just part of the convention? Well, abstracting itself is such a abstract concept, as it were. I know that sounds a little redundant. But once you remove concrete thoughts that we know from gloving and apply abstracting, you're in a whole new frontier now. So what he showed me is not only is sticking appendages in certain parts of your glove to allow you to do certain things like he was doing, which I thought was really cool, but also removing lights to put up new placements to do different things. These are the things that breaks the mold to gloving. So that's what it is. That's what you need to understand. And of course, other parts of his show that really showcase his style is at the very, very beginning when we actually saw him going like this, and then he had his other finger and he's doing the whole like conductor thing. Very indicative of platforming. Like, again, you guys need to see my episode on platforming? It's gonna be right over there. Go check it out. Like I did a really good job on that one. Like that one, I'm very proud of because I really think not a lot of people were like interested in learning platforming. But I will certainly say, just having that comment from Infinite Movement, which is the Hawaiian team that's all about platforming, they said that was 100% accurate. I was spot on. Like, great job. Which, thank you so much for saying that because I put a lot of work in that video. Like, that was something that I was very nervous about. I wasn't as nervous when it came to, like, morphing because, again, morphing is just one of those things that has such strong debate in the community that there's always going to be talk about it. But, yeah, that's pretty much my episode on that. So, did Genghis Wrath push it to the extreme? Yes. Did he subvert the expectations of what he wanted to show me while still keeping the foundational movesets? Yes. Did he show what was in the meta and was breaking the mold on what is the meta or going against the meta? Definitely. Because a lot of people have this tendency when it comes to abstracting, they pull this, well, how do I judge it? How do I, quantify this style? It's not that hard, actually. when you look at the term abstract, it's just not in the conventional sense. It's not a concrete thing. What is concrete in gloving? The foundational movesets and basic fundamentals that we have cultivated over the 12 plus years that we've been on this earth as an art form. Okay? That is how you're supposed to look at abstracting, is how did this take concrete and change it to not being concrete? Simple as that. The other thing is, I will definitely say as well, when it comes to like manipulating the individual lights on each individual finger, the way that he does it, it's definitely showing that you can create new lines and new shapes just by doing it with other hands and doing stuff like that, pulling the light off and putting it up here. You know, having this light literally be pointing straight up as he's working it. Okay, that is what I'm looking for. Okay, am I saying that only abstracting is able to pull this off? No, not at all. You know, I can actually see somebody just taking the whole light, pulling the light off and doing stuff with it and making a whole new style. I don't know what you would call that, but I would be very interested to see stuff like that. So, at the end of the day, did Genghis Wrath complete the challenge? Did he complete the trial? Yes. Yes, he did. So, yep, that is pretty much the only 2 submissions that I got. And I certainly hope I get more submissions because, my goodness, these are just challenges to challenge yourself. You know what I mean? And also, I really like to showcase glovers. I really like to watch videos. So this is, you know, something that isn't just let's watch pit battles or let's watch stuff on Reddit, which, you know, I really wish those videos that you did a lot better. But you live and you learn, kids. You live and you learn. And that is it. That is pretty much all for my episode. I definitely hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say about it. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed what I'm trying to do. Hopefully you guys understand what the Trials of BRR is all about and what it is going forward. Is that it is definitely a creative way for glovers who want to push themselves on things like that. So yeah, I certainly hope that's what you guys understand. I hope I kind of clarified that, but I definitely made sure you guys understand when it came to my other videos. Again, go look at all the BRR videos that I posted. You know, it's just the thing. But yep, that's pretty much all for my episode. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed what I had to showcase in this video. I certainly hope you guys consider trying out the other trials going forward. You know, I definitely do intend on bringing these trials back maybe sometime next year. Maybe later down after I get done with the 5th one, I will just restart the first one right up again in the beginning. Who knows? We'll see. But, of course, usual stuff. If you guys like what I do, you guys can like, share, subscribe to my channel. That definitely helps me out. It's absolutely for free. No money to you. You also have the opportunity to donate to my Ko-Fi, which does help me out a whole lot. As low as $1 donation does go a long way for me, and I highly appreciate it. But yeah, other than that, I don't really think there's much more to say. Usual stuff, and yeah. So I am your host, Peter, aka LPD Dubuque, and I'll see you guys all next week.